Hello you guys, I'm Sammy from HackerBad.net, and today I'm going to give you a short tutorial on how to set up Pokemon Go on your computer using an emulator, and also how to cheat just a little bit by using some fake GPS data in order to walk around in the world when you're actually sitting in front of your computer, which is pretty nice. Now, a few disclaimers. Now, this theoretically works with your phone as well. However, this will require your phone to be rooted. So unless you really know what you're doing, I do not recommend you risk bricking your phone almost permanently by doing this. It's much easier to just have it on your computer and being able to just erase it all if you brick it, okay? Just a little disclaimer. Also, another disclaimer is, if you're cheating too much and you don't know exactly what you're doing using fake GPS data, you can get banned from the game, from Pokemon Go. You can get banned. So what I recommend is that at first you use a second account or whatever. You just make a new Gmail account and just use that to learn how to use this fake GPS data, because you don't want your main account that you may even have spent money on to get banned, alright? So, those are the disclaimers. Third disclaimer, you will need some basic computer knowledge for this. It will be incredibly hard for you to follow this if you don't have some very basic Windows computer knowledge, alright? So, let's get going. The files that you'll need are in the description below. I'm not sure where exactly I'm going to host them, but they will be in the description of the video or on HackerBad.net. So, these are the files. You'll need BlueStacks, which is the emulator that we're going to use to simulate an Android device. So I'm just going to double-click this and install it because it's going to take some time. In the meantime, I'm going to show you the other files. Obviously, we got Pokemon Go APK. Because we want to play the game. We got a APK called King Root. This is a rooting app. This will root your phone. This will root your phone, which basically means that it will make it more like a computer and less like a mobile device, which in our case is something positive. Then we got the fake GPS APK, and we got Lucky Patcher. Now, Lucky Patcher is basically an installation program for rooted phones, which will allow you to install system applications that basically have administrator permissions. A fake GPS is obviously the app we're going to be using to create fake GPS data, which is really important if you want to walk around in Pokemon Go. So, installation is complete. We're going to finish that, and we're going to start the software. Alright, here we go. We got BlueStacks, and here is our Android device, or our emulated Android device, more like. So, the good thing about emulating an Android device is, if you screw up, if you root your Android device, your simulated Android device, and something goes wrong, you can just erase everything. You can uninstall the program in your Windows PC and reinstall it, and everything's going to be fine. So keep that in mind. If for some reason you brick the whole thing, you can just uninstall BlueStacks, get rid of all the personalization, and reinstall. And you have a clean slate, everything's going to be okay. Now, let's walk you through it. It's going to come up, improve location accuracy, go to agree. It doesn't really matter because we're going to go into the settings anyways. In a previous version of Android, you turned off the ability for Google Apps to, whatever, yes, whatever, it doesn't matter. So, first thing we are going to do is we're going to click the little settings wheel right here. We're going to go into the settings. And here what we're going to be doing is, first of all, we're going to go into the location settings. Now, since we're going to be using GPS, we want to have the high accuracy mode on. Make sure you have that. Escape out of there. And the second thing we're going to do is we're going to add our Google account. Now, as I've said, you want to use a secondary Google account if you're doing this for the first time, because you don't want to get banned on your main account, okay? Because while it is possible to get banned. If you know what you're doing, you're not going to get banned because you're going to use the right settings, which don't really allow you to get banned. But until you know that, you should use a secondary account. Okay, I'm going to add my own account. Give me a few seconds. Alright, we're signing in and Google comes up with some stuff, backup and restore. We don't need that, just uncheck it, go on with your life. And payment information, go to no thanks, because unless you want to set up payment information. But I wouldn't really, unless you know exactly that this is going to work, which we do not yet. Alright, now. Good, we got our settings, we got our account, we got our location set to high accuracy, perfect. Now, next thing we're going to do is we're going to install some stuff. Now, this is important. With the emulator, there are two ways we're going to be installing apps. First of all is the APK button on the left, right here, install APK. That's what we're going to use at first. And the second is going to be Lucky Patcher, alright? So, good. First thing we're going to install is King Root, alright? So you go to your APK button, you go to your location where you got all your files that you downloaded, King Root, you install King Root, double click it, alright? Good. Now we have King Root installed. This is basically a app that roots your phone, which as I've said, it basically makes it more like a computer. So you just swipe through this, doesn't matter, and then Purify system, try it. Now, let me just explain real quick. Rooting your Android device, fixed now, is basically at the start, when you have an Android device, every little app on there has their own segmented space that they're able to access, alright? There is no administrator applications that you can set up that have access to everything, that can change everything, which includes obviously your GPS data. So that's the difference between a computer program and a Android program or a mobile device in general. Alright, once King Root has finished, you need to optimize some stuff. Basically, it will analyze your device and analyze whether there is some stuff that could potentially break your device, and it's going to tell you about it. So optimize that stuff, because you don't want to break your device. Because that's bad. So, now our device functions more like a computer, where every device, if it has sufficient privileges, can change almost anything about the whole system, which is good, which is what we want, because we want to create fake GPS data later on. Good. Once you have King Root and you have optimized most of the stuff, you don't have to actually go for everything. Auto Purify, we might want to turn that on. Doesn't really matter that much. So I'm just going to close it for now, King Root. Alright, so next APK we're going to install is Lucky Patcher, which will allow us to install system applications. So go to APK, go to your Lucky Patcher, and you install it. Now, just a few pieces of information about Lucky Patcher. It's basically the installation app, and here it is under all apps, Lucky Patcher. This is the app we're going to be using from now on to install system applications, which have administrator privileges. So, however, before you do that, you're going to want to go into your King Root again, because you have installed a new app, which could lead to new issues. As you can see, there are 3 new issues. You want to optimize those. You're going to want to do that every time you install an application from now on, because, well, you don't want to brick your device, alright? This is a rooted phone now, which means you have more privileges, but there are also a lot more problems that can come up, and King Root will mostly protect you from bricking your device. So, good, we got that. You can go into your settings as well. It's not actually obligatory, and you can go to storage and clear your cache. I recommend doing it. It's not that necessary, but I just want to make sure I'm not breaking the device because I'm doing the tutorial. So yeah, that's what I'm going to do. Alright, got our King Root, good, got our settings, good. Now, next thing is we want to install the fake GPS, and here is where it gets not really complicated, but you know, a little bit more challenging. So you take your fake GPS APK and you copy it into your computer's pictures folder. Okay, you might ask yourself why, and I've done that as well when I did this the first time, but you need to do it. Just do it. So I pasted it in here. This is my pictures folder. It really depends on your Windows where exactly that is, but I trust you, since you have a basic knowledge of Windows, to find it. Okay, put the fake GPS APK into your pictures folder. Now, this is because we're going to be using Lucky Patcher. Go into your all applications, Lucky Patcher. We're going to be using Lucky Patcher. What is this? Lucky Patcher wants privileges allow. Okay, if Lucky Patcher needs any privileges, give it to Lucky Patcher. That's good, because Lucky Patcher is basically the meat of what we're going to be doing from now on. Now, go into your Lucky Patcher settings at the top right corner. Settings. Now what you're going to want to do is you want to go to filter, and you're going to want to show system apps, because by default it doesn't show those, which is a little bit annoying. Doesn't really matter. Escape out of there. Good. Now it's going to show you a lot more apps, but it's going to show you everything that you have on your device, which is what we want. Now we want to install the fake GPS, which we have in our images folder. All right. So you go to rebuild and install in your Lucky Patcher, and then you go to SD card and Windows, which will allow you to browse your Windows files. And that's why we put this fake GPS file APK in our pictures folders, because you have here the pictures folder. All right, fake GPS APK. Click it. And now here, important, very important, install as a system app. All right, as a system app. That's important. Don't just install as a system app. Do you really want to make this application a system app? Yes, I definitely do. Please reboot to apply changes. Whatever, doesn't really matter. So escape out of this, and here is where it gets a little bit wonky, you might say, because I'm actually going to reboot right now. For no particular reason, or actually I'm not going to. Now here it really depends. Either the fake GPS is going to show up in your Lucky Patcher immediately, or it's going to be a little bit more problematic. Just look for it. If it doesn't show up, reboot your software. It's a little bit hit and miss, at least for me. Whether it actually shows up or doesn't, at the moment it doesn't seem to show up. So let's go to our settings wheel and restart the Android plugin. So this is one of the things where sometimes it shows up, sometimes it doesn't. I don't actually know why that is. I assume that is very specific to the version of BlueStacks that I'm using right here. It's a little bit, it's slightly annoying, but whatever. So go to your King root again, and it's going to scan for stuff again and optimize again, because we have definitely installed another app in Lucky Patcher, in the system app of the fake GPS. So then you go into Lucky Patcher, because this is where we're going to start our fake GPS, and now it's showing up after restarting the Android plugin. Here's the fake GPS. Now, fake GPS, let's have a look at it. Go to Launch App. Now, double whatever. Okay, doesn't matter. What you're going to want to do is you're going to want to go into the settings of fake GPS. Before you do anything else, please go to your settings, all right? So, settings, and you're going to want to set it to expert mode, which allows you to fake GPS data. And then there's also some advanced options that I do recommend if you don't want to get banned, which, well, most of you probably don't want to. So, move around, fake location, yes, enable that. And then the distance to move around. Set the radius for moving the fake location. Values below 100 meters will show almost no result. Now, this will allow you to avoid getting banned, alright? So, usually these games ban you for moving too huge of a distance too quick, okay? If you're, for example, in London, and then you're 10 seconds later you are in Sydney, that's suspicious. That's going to get you banned, alright? Now, this option will enable it so that if you moved by accident or you know, knowingly too far, it's basically going to launch app. It's basically going to not move you at all, or move you only very slightly. So, and this is basically the tolerance. So 100 meters, for those of you who don't know what meters are, I don't know, I think a meter is about 3 foot. I don't know. I'm from Switzerland, so I don't know. 100 meters is maybe a bit much. I'm going to go to 50, alright, as a limit. Just to make sure, because especially if you're using your main account to play Pokemon Go or any game that uses geographical data, GPS data, you might not want to get banned, so you want to be a little bit careful. So this is important to avoid detection. Now, good. Everything else should be pretty hunky-dory. GPS accuracy should be 1. GPS speed is whatever. I set this to about, I don't know, 10. I don't actually know about that. But it doesn't really matter. So, that's important. Expert mode is on. Move around fake location and your distance limiter. Good. Alright. So, now we can basically install Pokemon Go. However, I'm going to go into the settings, into storage, and I'm going to clear the cache again. Alright, very good. So, Pokemon Go, as you can see, I got the APK right here. I'm just going to go on the APK button on the left. I'm going to install Pokemon Go APK. And that should basically do it. Again, you want to go into your King root. If there's any conflicts with the new app, you're going to want to do this every time, because bricking your device will cost you a lot of time, as I've pointed out before. Goody! Alright, very good. Now all the conflicts are resolved in King root. I can now close King root. Don't really need it at the moment. And I can go to all apps, and here you go, it's Pokemon Go. So, let's get to the meat of the whole thing. Start your Pokemon Go, actually no, go into your Lucky Patcher first, into your fake GPS, launch app, and we're going to want to set our location. Now, escape out of the menu, if you're in the menu. So, I don't want to be in Tulsa, because I'm Swiss. I'm going to go to Switzerland. And for some reason, there's an American keyboard activated in this app, in this BlueStacks. But it doesn't matter. I'm going to be able to type it out. Switzerland. Okay, there we go. Search. You can start anywhere you want, really. I'm going to start in Switzerland on the Cerner Sea, which is a very beautiful place, by the way. Just FYI. And just to show you how incredibly beautiful it is, I'm going to use the satellite mode. There you go. Beautiful. Yes, safe, whatever. I don't care. So I'm going to start right here in Sarnen. You can move closer because it's going to give you, some more accuracy. But I'm not going to do this right now. I'm just going to start here. And now to set your position, you're going to want to click the orange button right here. Actually, cancel this. Plus right here to get closer. Right here. So, okay, I'm going to start right here in the middle of the whole city. Double click. Click the orange button to place yourself on the map. And that's that. Fake location engaged. Good. So, now you can play Pokemon Go, basically. Go to your Android, go to your Pokemon Go, and click it. Play now. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Boost. I don't really care about that. King Root allows you to boost some applications. Doesn't really matter that much. Do it, don't do it, doesn't matter. Alright, it's loading. And it's pretty loud at the moment, which is why I'm going to adjust the speakers on my computer a little bit. Alright, so I'm going to set my date of birth, whatever, it doesn't really matter. I think you can't be too young though. 2000? No, that's probably young. Let's go with 83. Alright, those were the good days. Submit. GPS signal not found doesn't really matter. Now, before we start here, there's one more important thing that you have to do that requires a little bit of computer knowledge. Now, you need to go into your registry editor, and I almost forgot about that, because usually when you're playing Pokemon Go, you're playing an augmented reality game, which requires a camera, right? So, since we don't really have a camera on our computer that we could use as a augmented reality, and because we're not actually going out and moving around, you're going to want to go into your registry editor, alright? So, essentially, this allows you to edit some very crucial data, so don't play around too much with it. Just go to your HT local machine, software, BlueStacks, guests, Android, and then configuration. Alright, that's where you want to go. Let me just repeat that a little bit slower. HT local machine, software, BlueStacks, which is the emulator we're using, then guests, then Android, and then config. And there you will find the entry camera. Now you want to right click on this and modify it. Actually, I'm just going to go into Android again, and I'm going to go into config again, and camera. Right click it, modify it. Now, set it from hexadecimal to decimal. Okay, set it to decimal and set it to 0. Basically what we're doing here is we're telling the software that we don't have a camera on our phone. Alright, okay. Good, now you can close that. So, that being done, you can now log into your Pokemon Go. Google. I'm going to use my Google account, so I'm going to click the Google button. And it's going to load. Remember to be alert at all times, stay aware of your surroundings. Okie dokie. Accept whatever the license agreements. And there we go. We are now playing the Pokemon Go's. And I'm just going to skip through all this stuff to show you how to move around. Alright, we're now at the point where we're actually catching the Pokemons. And as you can see, I am running around because of my GPS. Probably for some reason fluctuating a bit, but it works. You can click the Pokemons if you wanted to. Now go to your Lucky Patcher, open your GPS app, your fake GPS app, and you can now just simply change your place on the map. Just double click, engage that fake location, and go back into the Pokemons. And as you can see, you're walking around. Now, if you want to catch the Pikachus, which is the secret starter Pokemon, as far as I know, you just need to move around a bit. So you go into your fake GPS, whatever, never. It wants to advertise some stuff to you, which you don't really want. So move around a little bit, and let's see where this guy goes. Oh, that's nice. I just went over. Ah, here you go. Here's the Pikachu. Yes. Camera on. Maybe later. When it asks you whether you want a camera, just go maybe later. Doesn't really matter. We are not detecting your phone's orientation. Would you like to turn off AR mode? Yes, since we don't really have orientation of the phone, just turn that stuff up. Augmented reality, I'm just gonna turn that on. Alright, so now you're at the point where you're catching the Pokemons. Yay! There we go. Great! Wow, I'm such pro at this game. Whatever. So, as you can clearly see, it works. I just caught a Pikachu. And everything is hunky-dory. And basically, you are able to move around the map just as a human being could. But you're using your computer. You're not moving at all in the real world. And you're using fake GPS data, which is awesome. I'm just going to show it off again. You go into your fake GPS app, click, you engage your location with the button, and there you go. You're moving. Perfection. Perfection. And you can do it again and again and again. And don't forget about the settings that to avoid detection. Don't forget about the settings in fake GPS that allow you to limit how far you're going in a certain amount of time in the settings right here. Get familiar with it and play around with it for a few hours on a second account before you're actually using this on your main account. All right. So, I don't want to make this tutorial too long, but essentially this is how you, and this is, I think this is the end of my tutorial right here. I can choose a nickname now. Hello guys. Actually, it doesn't type my name for the moment. That's my nickname. It's too long now. Whatever. So, that's a good point to end it. I'm not actually gonna choose a nickname right here because I don't really plan on playing on this account much longer. I hope this has helped you guys. I hope I've made it understandable. I hope I have explained it enough so that you can actually follow it. As I said, all the files that you will need, you will find in the link in the description. And BlueStacks can just simply be downloaded by, you know, using the Google or the Yahoo or whatever search engine and just looking for BlueStacks. You'll find it, no problem whatsoever. I believe there's even a BlueStacks version for Mac systems and maybe even Linux. I'm not actually sure, but I do believe they exist. So it's all hunky-dory. You can do this on almost any system out there, on any computer. You can get fake GPS data and you can have fun with the Pikachus and all the other Pokemons, the Pokemans. So thanks you guys for watching. I hope you guys have fun using this. And as I said, be careful. Get your settings right. Test it for a few hours before you're using it on your main account, and you will have fun. Thanks you guys for watching. See you guys soon.